We hear all the time about how technology is changing, well, everything. But what's it actually look like when we get down to it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Let's take Romania, for example, a country that's really putting a lot of effort into developing its industrial sectors. Like, how are things like AI and, virtual reality, how are those things going to actually change the way people learn new job skills or do their jobs there?
Well, you've hit on exactly what we're focusing on in this deep dive today.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking at what we can learn from a recent event in Romania. It was called Industrializarea României Viitorul în Educație,
Okay.
which translates to Industrialization of Romania, the Future in Education.
Okay, so pretty straightforward.
Exactly. It was very focused all about the real-world impact of, AI and what they call XR, which is extended reality.
Oh, right.
So that includes things like VR and AI and how all of that is going to shape the workforce in education.
Okay, so we know the name, we know the topic. What was like the big takeaway? Like, if there's one thing we should understand about this event, what would it be?
The central theme, really pushed by Dan Lejerskar, who's the chairman of EON Reality, was all about how XR and AI can completely change how people learn.
Right.
And how much more efficient companies can be in the way they operate. It's all about getting the workforce ready for the future, like starting now.
So this wasn't just a small little get-together, right? It sounds like a pretty big deal.
Oh yeah, this was not a small thing at all. Over 130 people, both from government and private companies all across Romania, came together for this.
Wow.
They even had senators and some really important people from different institutions there. So that kind of broad interest shows you how seriously they're taking these technologies.
Yeah, absolutely. So beyond just like the talks and the speeches, were there any other kind of like practical things that happened there?
Oh, there were a ton of hands-on demonstrations and really interesting discussions going on, showing how VR and AR, all powered by AI, can actually be used in the real world.
Okay.
Like you were talking about things from training people in factories
Oh, wow.
to like making learning better in schools, all sorts of stuff.
So can you give us like a really concrete example of something that's actually moving forward, like as a result of this event?
Absolutely. There's this pilot project being developed right now between AJOFM, that's Romania's National Employment Agency,
Okay.
and STEAM Park, which is like a big innovation hub over there.
Okay.
And they're looking at using AI and XR specifically to improve workforce skills.
So this is for people who are already working.
Exactly. And what's really cool is they're thinking if it goes well, they might roll it out across the whole country.
Oh, wow.
That's a pretty direct application of this tech,
Yeah, that's very cool. So what about like, people who aren't working yet, like those in more traditional education routes?
Yeah, so Emmanuel University of Oradea, they've shown a lot of interest in actually incorporating these technologies into their academic programs.
Oh, interesting.
Which shows you that people are recognizing that these tools aren't just for job training. They can actually make formal education better, too.
Yeah.
And, of course, you have a bunch of large private companies, conglomerates who are really eager to explore how to use all this for their own internal employee training.
It really sounds like there was a feeling of things moving forward, like actual progress being made.
Definitely.
I'm curious, were there any quotes, like things that people said that really stuck with you?
Yeah, definitely. One that comes to mind is Flaviu Balint. He's the CEO of QHQ SRL, which is EON Reality's partner in Romania. He said the whole event was like, quote, a significant step forward in harnessing the potential of AI and XR technologies to build a future-ready workforce in Romania and ensure our industrial sector remains competitive globally, end quote.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. It really highlights, just how important this is for the country's economy, right?
Absolutely. It's a big driver for them.
But what about the bigger picture, like beyond just the economics of it all?
Yeah, that's important too. Dan Lejerskar from EON Reality, he talked about that, saying, and I'm quoting here, the importance of public-private collaboration and leveraging technology to empower local talent and reshape educational landscapes.
Okay.
Together, we are paving the way for an inclusive and democratized access to cutting-edge learning tools.
Oh, that's really interesting. So it's about collaboration and making sure everyone has access, not just, certain groups.
Exactly.
So who were the main people, like the groups behind putting this whole event together?
The real driving forces were Federația Patronilor Bihor, that's like a employers federation.
Okay.
And then ClubHQ SRL, which we mentioned before, and CIPMR, which is like a national council for small and medium-sized businesses. And looking forward, STEAM Park Oradea, that innovation hub, they're going to be a really key regional research and development partner for this whole thing.
So it's a real team effort.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Different kinds of organizations all working together.
Okay, and EON Reality, you've mentioned them a few times now. What exactly is their role in all of this?
So EON Reality, they're a world leader when it comes to AI-powered VR and AR technology, specifically for transferring knowledge and skills.
Right.
Their big goal is to make learning accessible to everybody all over the world using these really innovative technologies they've developed. They're really at the forefront of combining AI and this kind of immersive learning.
So for all of you listening to this right now, what's like the essential thing you should take away from all this?
I think the key takeaway here is that Romania is really taking the initiative, really actively embracing AI and XR, not as some futuristic idea, but as practical solutions to bring their education systems up to date and make sure their workforce has the skills they need for the future.
Yeah, yeah,
We're seeing real projects happening right now.
right.
And a lot of support from the government, from businesses, from universities. It's clear they're putting a lot of effort into this.
It's interesting to think about how things are developing in Romania. It makes you wonder how AI and XR might change how you learn and work in your own field, over the next few years. What new possibilities could this unlock for you personally?
Yeah, that's a great question to think about. What doors could this open for you?
That's something for all of us to consider.
Definitely.